What's going on, everybody? Jacob here, Miami Dolphins Syndicate. The Dolphins have lost their first game of the season, 48-20 against the Buffalo Bills up in Buffalo. And we said in the preview that we expected the Dolphins to win, but we know going into the season that you can't win every single game. And going out to Buffalo, one of the divisional games, one of the hardest games on our schedule every single year. And that is the first time the Dolphins have taken a loss this season, 48-20. So, going to go over some initial thoughts, look at the game breakdown, look at the stats, and really try to paint a picture for how the game went. All right, so we're just going to take a look at both teams' statistics for the game. Looking at the Dolphins side, of course, first, Tua, 25-35, 282, a touchdown, interception, 8.1 per completion, 92.8 quarterback ranking. And this right here is the biggest number from what we've seen so far this season. 3 games, 1 sack, 2 is most being held upright. And that just did not happen today. A lot of pressure from that defensive line. Ed Oliver was just a monster back there. 4 sacks total. You're looking at the ground game, and this is not what you want to see from Raheem Mostert. 1.3 yards per carry, 7 carries, 9 yards, all the way buried here underneath Tyreek Hill, underneath Braxton Berrios. Yeah, even with those 1 carries between the two of them each, getting over Raheem Mostert, he had just so much fits, trying to find any sort of space all day long. You come down here into the receiving game, a little bit better, 36 yards, about 45 yards, all-purpose for Raheem Mostert. Devon Achane, eventually it's a pattern, and what we've seen is a quick burst, just guy that can just hit a hole and just go. And again, very successful day from him. 8 carries, 101, 2 touchdowns, 12.6 per carry. I mean, the dude is electric. He was the bright spot of the day. We get down here, Tyreek Hill, 3 catches, 58 yards. Jalen Waddle, nice to see him back, 4 catches, 46 yards. The Buffalo defense, that's what I talked a lot about in the preview, was the defense rather than the offense. You know what we're going to get from most of those guys on the offense, but the defense has looked really good at the beginning of the season. Josh Allen has continued to be his efficient self. And Doug, I always want to call him Doug McDermott. Sean McDermott, defensive head coach, he's getting his side of the ball correct, and it's been a really good season for that Buffalo Bills defense so far. And you just look at everybody here on the Dolphins' offensive side of the ball. Yeah, Braxton Berrios, 43 yards and a touchdown. It was a struggle. It was a struggle to move the ball. We had a few 4th downs that we didn't pick up. Had a few turnovers. Tua had that turnover that he overzealed on the ball. Had a fumble also early on in the game. The offense just wasn't clicking like it normally was. It was not by any means a bad performance, but especially when you've seen the first 3 weeks, we expect a little bit better out of the team. And then Josh Allen, it's gone very under the radar how efficient Josh Allen has been. If you take away that Jets game, he was coming to this game, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Jets game happened. You throw out the tape. Since then, he's been a very efficient quarterback, 72% completion percentage. Coming into this game, just as many incompletions as he had touchdowns. We talked about that stat last week with Tua, how he had more touchdowns and incompletions. Well, just as many incompletions as he had touchdowns, 21 of 25, 320 yards, 4 touchdowns. He got a little pressure on him, got him, but look at this. Look at this, 158.3. Is that the perfect rating? I'm pretty sure it is the perfect rating. Something around those range. Even if it's not perfect rating, played virtually perfect. Got in the end zone with his rushing touchdown. And again, that number right here, something we pointed out in the pregame or in the preview. They're running the ball with him a lot less. So what that means is he is trying to sustain his body. He is trying not to take those hits that he's been finally taking in years past. He's throwing himself much less into the line of danger and has been getting down easier, has been avoiding hits easier. But we stopped them on the ground, which was kind of a surprise to me. The ground game didn't really get going. Latavius Murray, their leading rusher, they don't want him to be the leading back. Most of his carries were in the second half. James Cook, I'm not a big fan of James Cook. And then, of course, I took the over on his yards. He only finished 29, did get in the end zone. That, kind of got in the end zone. I'm not really sure it was a touchdown, but whatever. Damian Harris, 29 yards himself. Josh Allen, there you go, the 17. And these are just the kneel downs there at the end. Stephon Diggs, man. Stephon Diggs just put in that work. Just simple as. He has really been one of my favorite receivers in the NFL for a very long time now. But he's been one of my favorite players for a team that I hate for a long time now. I love his route running. I love his ability to stop on a dime. He's got amazing hands. He's got that passion that you love to see from your wide receivers. Yeah, sometimes there's a little diva there. Sometimes there's a little bit of, he can get in his own way. But when he's clicking, when him and Josh Allen are clicking, it's hard to stop watching, and it's hard as a Dolphins fan to not look at it and not appreciate how good it was. Matt Milano just continues to be the Dolphins killer. He's everywhere. He's in the middle of the linebacking crew. He's all over the field on defense. He's getting in the backfield. He's guarding your running back out of the backfield. He's lining up in zone. He's just everywhere. He's everywhere. He's the best player on that defense. Leads the team in tackles. Where's my sideways scroll bar? Or do I not have one? I guess I don't have one. Tre'Davious White going down, and we'll talk about on the Dolphins side who went down over there. Tre'Davious White going down, they said it's an Achilles. Man, it's a good player in the NFL. It sucks to see him go down, especially by the time that injury even happened. It would have been an extreme long shot for the Dolphins to come back. On the Dolphins side, we'll just get into that now. Teron Armstead, knee injury, couldn't come back to the game. And this is way ahead of the curve. This is way, looking forward, but I didn't even look at his money. I didn't look at anything of the sorts before making this opinion. I think there's a solid chance he's not on the team next year. You have to be able to play. There is no better ability than availability. And he just consistently finds himself off the football field. I mean, how many times have we talked about that with Tua? About how anytime he takes a hit, we were watching it every single time Tua rolled to his left, and the guy, he's getting chased from behind. The defensive lineman is chasing him down. He falls. Did he hit his head? Did he get landed on? How's his knee? How's his ankle? What's going on? There's such a fear with Tua. Whatever happens with him, is he going to get hurt? But Teron Armstead is just as injury prone. He's just as much as a risk being out there, and he's missed the first 2 games. Was amazing last week. Had a great game. I was driving home from Orlando, so before he got hurt, I wasn't really able to really look at what he was doing, how good he was playing. But he's a good player. It's just he's not always available. And when you have the questions that we've had on the offensive line, and now we finally start to see the offensive line click. This is the worst game they've had all season, the first 4 games. But when you start to see the offensive line play well, they've played fantastic 3 out of 4 games. We're 3-1, and a large reason for that is the offensive line. And then Teron Armstead goes down again. When does this story stop? When do we just face the reality of the situation? Yes, this is a very talented player. This is a guy that is going to help the team if healthy, but he can't stay healthy. It's a big if when it comes to him. Usually we're talking ifs, if he's good enough, if he reaches his ceiling. No, his if is if he stays on the field. And eventually, you got to ask the big questions and wonder whether he's worth keeping on the team beyond the year. I don't want to overreact too much to the actual game. The Bills were the better team. I felt last year in all 3 games that we played them, we outcoached them. Today, it looked like Sean McDermott finally got one on Mike McDaniel. The defensive scheme took Tyreek Hill completely out of the game, kept him blanketed the entire time. I mean, there was not a single time that there was not double coverage, that the double high safety, one on one side, one on the other, one with Waddle, one with Hill, and say, hey, if you want to get 6 catches and 43 yards to Braxton Berrios, go ahead. You're only going to get about 8 catches between the lot of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. I think it was actually 7 catches between the 2 of them. You're not going to have an easy time getting them the ball, and if that's the case, we think we will win. And that's what happened. Raheem Mostert, I want to say it's a product of the offensive line struggling, but we saw when he was struggling, Mike McDaniel said, okay, Achane, show me what you can do. And he rewarded him. 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards, over 12 yards per carry. That's over a first down. That's a first down and a quarter per carry. And Devon Achane is proving me wrong by the game. Please, Devon, continue to prove me wrong. I love it. I want to be wrong. Any guys watching us from before, from the off season, I was talking a lot about how I think he's a little too small. I'm a little concerned if someone gets a hand on him, what's going to happen. But his elusiveness, his ability to just find that burst and go, the big play ability, it's there, and it's so early on in his career that there is just so much room to grow. I am still concerned if somebody gets a hold on him, what's going to happen to him. But till then, he's balling. Hey, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm glad I'm wrong. I love what I've seen from Devon Achane. Tua, he had his interception, and yeah, we definitely saw some instances where he's not the most athletic quarterback in the NFL, but that he was what we asked him to be today, and it just all around you look top to bottom outside of again like Devon Achane. Everybody in one way or another didn't have their best game. I mean, Kadir Kahu, we love talking about Kadir. We love seeing the rise of somebody coming from the practice squad and working their way in training camp and proving themselves to be one of the main guys on the team. But man, Stephon Diggs made him look silly. So there's a whole checklist of things that happen. There's a whole bunch of guys, and Donovan and I we're going to discuss it amongst ourselves. We'll figure out how to continue to unpack this game over the next few days. I definitely think we need to have a conversation about Teron Armstead, but until that point, I'll leave you at that. Hey, we weren't going to win every game this year, all right? Only one team's ever done it, and most of the people that were on that team are dead. So it's pretty difficult to do. It's pretty difficult to win this league. It's pretty difficult to win the NFL, especially when you're going on the road to a divisional opponent who has one of the best quarterbacks, has one of the best coaches, has one of the best defenses in the entire NFL. It's difficult to win. Can't win them all. If there's a game to drop going up to Buffalo, you can justify. Got the Giants next week. We have a fun slate of games after that. I think we have the Giants. Then is it the Giants then the Eagles, or is it the Giants, Eagles, Panthers? Something in that stretch. But it's gonna be a fun stretch. I still like where this team is going. It's a long season. I'm not sitting here. Woe is me. We're done. Stop it. We've seen this team have some absolute electric play up to this point of the season. And I still expect that to continue after this game. You lose, it is what it is. Let us know your thoughts about the game down in the comments below. How disappointed are you? Is there any particular player that caught your eye in a positive way, in a negative way? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank y'all very much for watching. This is Jacob. I'm the Dolphins Syndicate. Make sure to subscribe, hit that like button. Have a great rest of your day. Take care, everybody.